Hi, it's Mitch Tarr, President and founder of ZinMarketing.com, and today we have a great little review for you from a company that we've discovered called Abacus.com, and we'll go through some really specific things that you can do to improve your email campaigns, and we'll just use them as an example so you can see directly what we're talking about. So what if your goal is to generate new leads on your website? What if that's what the purpose of the website is? You've got a web presence and you're really hoping that the website will make the phone ring. This is something that's really popular and powerful to do with your site, and it's something that a lot of people really get wrong. So what we'll do is we'll just show you three simple things you can do with your website and how to generate leads directly. So let's just take a look at Abacus.com. We'll go to their homepage, and like we normally do when we do a review, we'll start poking around like we're an interested visitor. And when we land on the page, this is what the homepage looks like. It says expenses without the expense report. An intriguing headline it is. There are two calls to action that you can see right there on the homepage. The first one is sign up for a free trial on the left, and the one on the right is request more info. So in online marketing, you probably know that the most valuable real estate that you have is the center of your homepage. It's where you get to do the most impactful marketing. It's where you get to have that 5 seconds where you can determine whether the visitor is supposed to stay on the site because they're starting to find what they're looking for, or whether they're about to waste their time and they hit the back button and forget about you. So in this situation, really, this is the single headline that you see when you land on the on the home page. It's visible, it's easy to read, it's short in terms of headlines, and there's two call to actions immediately underneath it. If you scroll down the page, you'll see lots and lots of copy and really good supporting evidence, but the goal of the headline is you really only have 5 seconds to get somebody to stay on that page long enough to keep reading and scrolling and discover if they're going to be an interested party or not. It's not like someone is going to land on this page, read the headline, hit the trial button in 5 seconds. That is not going to happen. They might hit the free trial button to learn what it's all about, but pretty rarely will somebody basically make a snap decision to sign up for your product just like that. So what happens then when someone clicks on one of these, clicks on this page, lands on this home page, and how can we improve it? So the first thing we would do is I would say, we want to make sure that you know what's going on. And this is where the conversion formula comes into play. And really, here's an example. And I'll just make these numbers up. These are totally made up. 200 visitors land on that page. You might get one trial request, one free trial, and one request for information. So just for argument's sake, these two things happen when 200 visitors visit that page. Now, what if we wanted to improve those numbers? First thing you could do is split test your headline. Now, split testing your headline means showing one headline, then its alternate, and then the first headline, and just alternating back and forth, and allowing one of the two headlines to show itself to be more powerful and more effective. So split testing your headlines, you might get it exactly right the first time and have a doubling or a tripling or a quadrupling. It might take you a few tries to run through different headlines and make sure that it matches your audience exactly and gets you the types of trials that you're after. But let's say we split test the headlines. Suddenly our 200 visitors gets us 2 trials and 1 request instead of 1 trial and 1 request. So right away we've increased our trials by 100% just by doing this one thing, split testing our headlines. Now when I click on the request for information, here's where I go to. I land on another page, and basically this page says want to know more about Abacus. Yes, no, and then leave your information, email address, and hit the submit button. So there's kind of a lot of things wrong with this in the sense that it's based on the concept that when people are ready to ask you questions, they'll know what their question is and they'll ask you. Most people don't raise their hand. They don't ask questions. They don't put themselves out. They don't take that extra step. They will just keep on reading. So they'll go from here and they'll keep on reading. And some people will fill in the form, but certainly not as many as you could. What you really need to do here is make a great offer. Something like a free report. A free report like the ways that your current expense reporting system is burning through cash for you, how you're wasting 10% or more on your expenses, why your current expense system could be really harming your employee morale, and what you can do about it. Simple reports like that. So when someone comes to this page, instead of a want to know more about Abacus, basically you're making them a great offer. you're making them an offer for a report, which gives them some valuable information and basically allows them to make that trade. The trade is, I'm willing to give up my email address to get this piece of information. It might help me in my quest for figuring this out. So the very first step you want to do is make a great offer on a page like this. If we make the great offer, it might get you, same as before, we have our 200 visitors, we got our 2 trials, but now we might get 5 requests instead of 1 request. And this could be turned into 10 requests or some other bigger number, but I'm just picking 5 for argument's sake. You're going to get increased requests from making a great offer on this page. And the second thing that you want to do with that great offer is make sure you put it on every blog post, on every page of your website. If there is traffic and it's moving through your site and the people are reading and the people are asking questions, then putting this offer on every page is going to get you more people filling in the form and leaving their email address behind. And it might turn out like this. If you put the great offer on every page, these 200 visitors might give you your 2 trials plus an additional 10 requests for information instead of where we started with it, which was just 1 request. So you're going to get increased requests from having a great offer and putting it on every blog post and every page in the website. Then what happens next? This third step is something that pretty much everybody ignores, but it's also one of the most powerful. Use an autoresponder to convert these requests for information into trials. An autoresponder, as you know, is a series of email messages delivered one after the other to a predetermined time. And they're separated by 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. There's all types of different styles of autoresponder messages. But the goal of the autoresponder sequence is to keep in touch with the person who made the request and to try and turn their interest level up a little bit so that they then say, you know what, I'm willing to take a trial and see how this would really work for us. And so autoresponders are particularly good at that. And what's great about them is once you set them up properly and you start to monitor the results from them, they'll just keep running and running and running in the background while you're continuing to do more marketing work, getting people to come in the front and getting more traffic on your website, for example. So what could that do for you? An autoresponder might get you, you've got your 200 visitors, we've got our 2 trials, we got our 10 requests from the things we did on the blog post. Now we got 2 additional trials from the autoresponder sequence. So now our 200 visitors yield us 4 trials and 10 requests. And that's quite a bit different from where we started, where we had 1 trial and 1 request from our 200 visitors. So the results from doing these 3 things are more trials, increased requests for information, which in turn, because of the autoresponders, leads to yet more trials. Now, if you doubled your traffic, what would happen then? Instead of 200 visitors getting you 4 trials, if you went to 400 visitors, suddenly you'd have 8 trials. If you increased your visitor traffic by 10 times, you'd have 2,000 visitors and now 40 trials. And the difference between 40 trials and 1 trial can be quite dramatic, especially if, as we said at the very, very beginning, your goal is to generate leads. So just take a look back and follow these 3 simple steps. Make sure you do split testing on your landing page. Try to improve the stickiness of it. Try to get people to take that step. Make a valuable offer on your request page and put that offer on every single page. And then try to convert those requests to leads using autoresponders and set those up and watch what happens. Suddenly, you will discover more leads. And more leads means, most likely, more business. If you want to see how ZinMarketing.com can do that for you, which is what we do as a service company, go to ZinMarketing.com/help. And if you'd like to learn how to do it yourself, we've built a really good email training program called at NoSpamEmailMarketing.com. Hope this was helpful for you, and we will talk to you next time.